Hey everyone, welcome back to Book Daddies. Today we are going to be talking about our top 5 video games of all time. Even though these aren't books, they still are story based, and we can talk about the writing in them and that kind of thing. So they're book adjacent, I would say.
Right, book adjacent. And we do have some criteria set. So these are games that we have completed. We've finished the story. There are games that would have made the list, but didn't, simply because neither of us finished the games. So we had to have finished the games. You had some other criteria.
Yeah,
right?
for me personally, I wanted to. There was a game that I'll talk about later as an honorable mention that I recently finished for the first time and I loved, and it's been sticking in my head for so long, and it almost made the list, but I haven't played it twice, while every other game I've played at least twice through on this list. So I kind of felt like that was an unfair thing, so I just left it off for now. But I don't know. Down the line, we'll probably do a revised list. And
absolutely. And these are games that are narrative focused. Some of them are linear, some of them are open world. Either way, the writing in these games is just fantastic. Great character progression, great dialogue, great macro story, overarching plot. So that's what we've been thinking about while making this list. All right. Why don't you go first?
All right. So my number 5 is Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I loved this game. I thought it was a perfect sequel to Fallen Order, and I loved Fallen Order gameplay wise. And I know that's not our focus, but it just built off of what was in Fallen Order, which was already awesome. And then story wise, I was just captivated the whole time. It felt like Star Wars. Cal Kestis' character was already well established in Fallen Order, but events that happen in Survivor just helped his character growth so much more.
I will say about that game, what makes Cal Kestis such a great character to follow is he's not single faceted. Like, he has depth. There's multiple sides to him.
Right.
Especially as you get further in the game.
Yeah.
That you don't often see in Star Wars, right?
Totally. Yeah.
Oftentimes it is, how do I say it?
A character is a Jedi and only a Jedi.
Yeah, a character is a Jedi, a character is a Sith. I mean, that's a common thing in Star Wars, is that it's light versus dark. Right. And in this game specifically, those lines are blurred a little bit.
Yeah, those lines are definitely blurred. And I not only the blurred lines thing, but just kind of going back to Cal being more than just a Jedi, he is a Jedi at his heart, but he's dealing with what does that mean, especially now that the Order is gone, and, and he's been knighted by Cere in the previous game. Yeah, there's so much going on internally for him, and that's a struggle that you don't see a lot in Star Wars. But yeah, I think Cal's specific character growth is a lot more nuanced in that it's not just cut and dry, dark and light. Yeah, like you said, it's very great. He's dealing with the darkness within him, and as he's going through this journey of figuring out what a Jedi means in this new galaxy.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Great choice. Okay, my number 5 is going to be Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus. Have you played?
I've not played Wolfenstein.
Okay. This is a story-driven first-person shooter. Wolfenstein 2, this is also such a great example of building really well off of the previous game. The game takes place in an alternate history where Nazis did win World War II due to discovering ancient technology, and the second game is taking this small resistance that they built up in the first game and just expanding on it. And so you're going across different major cities in the United States, doing missions to try and find information to overthrow the Nazis. The overall plot is very simple. What I find so compelling is the fact that this story focuses on a small group of resistance freedom fighters that, despite the overwhelming odds, just do not give up. They keep fighting because they believe in freedom for all, equality for all, and they see all these atrocities that are being committed in the world, and they just don't give up. And in that, these two characters, they find love. They start to build a family, and it's just such a beautiful story that even in unfortunate, difficult, trying circumstances, people still find a way to be happy, to find joy. And that's what I really appreciate about this game. And there's supposed to be a third game on the way. Yeah, I would say if you even remotely curious, I would give it another shot.
No, yeah, I mean, just from that little tidbit, I'm intrigued for sure.
In the second game specifically, it's one of the only games I can remember where my jaw literally dropped
Oh, really?
at a moment in the story that I was just shooketh to the core. Like I could not believe what happened. Yep, that's my number 5.
Cool. My number 4 is Batman Arkham City.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Adam's given me shit a few times because I haven't played these games. So I have to play these games.
Yeah, dude, you got it. They're so good. It's funny, most of my games on this list are sequels. Not third, but the second game in the line.
Specifically the second game.
Specifically the second game. Which is interesting because like so often in media, the sequel is like the weakest of the 3. But that's not the case for Arkham City. Arkham City takes what Arkham Asylum did and just made it better. Not only gameplay wise once again, but also story wise. Arkham Asylum I found as I've gone back and played it over the years, and this is by no means saying that it's a bad game. Arkham Asylum is an amazing game, but it is very like campy and cartoony in some ways, and the writing's kind of silly and like and very. Sometimes I'm like, what is this 1960s Batman with Adam West? You know?
Well, that's charming.
No, yeah, it is.
Right?
It is totally charming. It's a charming game, in the darkest way because it is also a very dark game. But Arkham City takes that and like there's still some like silly campy dialogue, but there's also just really amazing dialogue written, and it takes Batman and Bruce Wayne. You kind of start to see his humanity in this game, whereas in Arkham Asylum you don't see that humanity in him. He's just Batman, whereas in Arkham City you see him be more human, and which is something that I love when storytellers do with Batman, is when they make him human. Like in Batman Mask of the Phantasm, it's which is an animated film based off of the 90s show. You know, you see him at his most human in that movie. And in City, you see that as well. But moreover, it's just the twists and turns of the plot. Right. Like it's just everywhere. And you're like, I don't know. When I just remember first playing it and I was just like, this is just so cool. And it's been a game that I revisit at least once a year ever since I started playing. Phenomenal game. If you haven't played it, like Austin,
okay, I'll have to play it.
You got to play it. You play Arkham's games. I'll play Wolfenstein games.
Okay, deal.
Yeah,
deal. A little unfair because there's 3 Arkham games and only 2 Wolfenstein.
There's 4 Arkham games.
Oh,
you should play Origins. Origins is really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, my number 4. I'm not sure there's going to be much more to say because it's Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh, okay.
Right. So the first game, Adam chose the sequel, but the first game for me, I've played it a couple times. The only reason I chose this over the sequel is because of the nostalgia of playing it for the first time. It wasn't quite the same. Like the sequel was objectively a better game. However, the first game just grabbed me and immersed me, and it was the best Star Wars game I'd ever played, which I think is fair, right? I think there's arguments to be made.
I played a lot of Star Wars games. Yeah.
There's arguments to be made for other ones, but as far as modern Star Wars games go, these games are phenomenal. And the first one was the first one I had played that just really threw me into this world in such an immersive way. And Cal Kestis is such an interesting character. I mean, it takes place only a few years after Order 66.
I think it's 4 years after.
Yeah. And so he was still a Padawan when that happened, and he deals with the trauma of losing his master, of not being good enough. He blames himself for certain things that happened. And throughout the game, you see him gain back his Force abilities as he learns to heal and forgive himself. And I just think it's a beautiful story.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'm not sure there's much more to add about that because those 2 games are phenomenal.
They really are.
I had to choose the first one.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Oh, not to mention, there's a couple boss fights just enraged me. So the first time I played,
that's true. We didn't really talk about the Souls-like aspect of these games.
They're hard.
They can be very, very difficult. I suck at video games, honestly. I love playing them, but I suck at them. So I like usually play at like the normal level, just like the mid-range where like gives me a little bit of
like the default
just like the default difficulty.
Okay.
But even still, dude, if you do not know how to parry, you are screaming at the
So
TV.
for those who have played the game, there's a fight that happens on Dathomir.
Oh my gosh.
That dude. And that was the first time I played. I was doing normal difficulty, and I probably tried it
dude. Yeah, same.
30 times
I know, right?
before
Yeah,
I
on
beat
normal.
this boss
Yeah,
on normal.
on Jedi.
Jedi Knight, is that the
Yeah,
normal one?
no, Jedi Knight is no. Yeah, I think you're right. Jedi
Yeah.
Knight.
But
Yeah,
then the second time I played it on Jedi Grandmaster, which is the hardest difficulty.
yeah,
And weirdly enough, it was like maybe five tries.
yeah.
Like it
I
was
know
still
that.
hard.
No,
But
I know the parry timing for like Souls-like
yeah.
games is not nearly as bad as like an actual Souls game,
Right.
but gnarly boss fights.
And then the other boss fight is the final boss fight at the end of the game. I won't spoil anything,
Yeah.
but all I'll say is when that boss fight is over, all hell breaks loose,
Yeah.
and you really, it's really a cinematic set piece of a moment in that game.
It really
It's
is.
really great.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Mhm.
Okay, my number 3 is I chose Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
Okay.
That was like my introduction to the world of The Witcher.
Okay.
And then I started reading the books. I think about RPGs in comparison to Skyrim a lot,
Mhm.
right? Because like Skyrim is
Same,
is
because
such
it was
a,
one of the first open world RPGs I
right,
played.
that I've ever,
Yeah.
yeah, same for me. And so it was something that was really new for me.
Mhm.
And it was also the most difficult game I had ever played up until then.
Yeah.
But my coworker at the time was like, dude, you gotta play this game. You will love it. I'm like, all right. And he was right. Within like that, like the first like opening scene of it, because you haven't played it yet, right?
I have played maybe 1 or 2 hours of The Witcher 3.
Okay. So like that opening scene though with Yennefer in the battlefield
Yes.
is so intense.
You're talking about the cinematic, right?
Yeah, the cinematic. I was hooked from the cinematic
Mhm.
itself. And then as I got to get to know Geralt and Vesemir in that first little scene for a little while, I was like, okay. And I will admit, I did think Geralt's gravel voice was a little corny when I first started playing it, but it really grew on me. Then there's so much in that world, not only to do, but that you're just so immersed in.
Yeah.
And then the writing for like a multi-choice game where choices matter, where anything you say or do can affect the outcome of any mission, whether that's main story or side quest. It's really interesting to go back and play it and see how different choices
Right.
have different outcomes. And I think there's 4 different endings that you can get.
I didn't know that. That's super
Which
impressive.
isn't a lot to today's standards, because I know there are games out there with like 25 different
Sure,
endings or something
sure.
like that, right? For 2015 when it came out, 10 years ago, which is crazy, it was just so well done, and each ending is equally heartbreaking and heartwarming in
Is
some ways.
Is there a canon ending?
Yeah, there
Okay.
is. Yeah. The canon ending is like the ending that everybody wants to have. It's like the
Right.
happiest ending that you can get.
Got it.
And then also just like the way that the developers, CD Projekt Red did such a good job with the source material and like doing callbacks to like things in like The Last Wish with Yennefer and Geralt and things like that.
What's so impressive about games like The Witcher
Mhm.
is oftentimes in video games I see a compromise where if you have a linear story, you're sacrificing the open world exploration and the immersion of the world for a better story,
Mhm.
right? But then oftentimes when you have the open world, you're sacrificing the quality of the story and the writing. I mean, I see that in a lot of
Sure.
open world games,
Yeah.
but it's impressive for
Yeah.
The Witcher. And also like a game like Red Dead Redemption,
Right.
like those games do not compromise on anything. They have
Right.
the greatest open worlds and exploration elements while also maintaining the highest quality writing and story.
Right.
It's so good.
Yeah, it is really so good. Super good game, super good writing. Love, as we talked about last time with like story tropes, I love found family kind of thing. And that's exactly what The Witcher is with Geralt and Yennefer and Ciri and even Triss and all the other Witchers,
Nice.
Vesemir and Eskel and all the rest that I can't remember. But yeah, phenomenal game.
All right. My number 3 is going to be 2018 God of War.
Oh, dude, I didn't even think about those.
Have you played it?
I've played both of them. They're phenomenal.
Okay. So I have not
Oh,
played,
man.
what's the second one called? God of War.
Ragnarok.
I haven't played Ragnarok. So my first introduction to God of War was 2018 God of War.
Same.
I later went back and played the older ones, though I'm still kind of in the middle of God of War 3. Those games are still really great. Those are more like arcadey hack and slash games. But my first introduction was God of War 2018, and wow, that is just a cinematic experience.
Dang. Yeah, dude, it is.
I mean, right off the bat, the whole thing is filmed from the perspective of it being a one shot. Did you know this?
Oh, really?
The
No, I
camera
didn't notice.
does
No,
not
yeah, you're
cut
right.
away a
Yeah.
single time until after the game. There's a point where if you return to their cabin, it does cut in it. There's a scene that comes after that. But
Oh.
otherwise, it's a one-shot game,
Oh,
which
yeah,
is really
that's totally true.
cinematically
Yeah.
beautiful. But also, if you have played the old God of War games, you know the type of person Kratos is. He's brutal, he's vicious, he's ruthless, he is just super lustful and angry, and just he's filled with rage. And so then in the 2018 game, you see a different side of him. He is a father and he's still full of rage, but he's trying to find out how to be a father, how to teach his son to break the cycle of violence, how to be kind and be loving, while also grappling with the mistakes of his past. He blames himself for the death of his wife and kid from an earlier life, and that's kind of an overarching theme throughout all the games. Is he blames himself for the death of his family,
Yeah.
and so now he has this new family, this new child, and it's kind of a second chance at being a better person. It's just so beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It is a really beautiful game. That game made me cry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It definitely pulled at my heartstrings. I haven't played it since becoming a father. I think I want to
Oh, yeah.
replay it because it really is a story about like parenthood.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's a phenomenal game.
Yeah.
One of the best games I've ever played.
Yeah, that game is super inspiring to me as a writer for sure. As you know, one of my characters, Hrafn, is like loosely based on Kratos. I don't know if you ever caught on to
No,
that.
I totally caught on to
Yeah.
that. I mean, like even just like physically, his
Yeah.
appearance basically is Kratos,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, I did catch on to that. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a good game. I cannot believe those didn't even cross my mind.
Really?
Yeah, and they're both
It
phenomenal.
almost didn't make my list simply because I forgot.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, how could I forget this?
Yeah, no, yeah, those are both phenomenal games. Yeah, Ragnarok's super
Have
good.
you played the old ones?
Mm-mm.
You should.
Yeah.
They're fun. And
Yeah.
they're not too long either.
All right, I'll do that sometime.
Okay. All right, top two.
All right,
Let's
top
hear
two. I think this might surprise you.
Wait, hold on. No, okay, it might surprise
Okay,
me because
all right.
I thought I knew what your your number one was until you said that.
Oh, okay, I'm curious. Okay,
Let's
my top two is The Last of Us Part 2.
see. That's what I thought your number one was going to be. So
Mhm.
that is surprising.
Yeah,
Okay, let's hear it.
yeah, Last of Us Part 2. Story wise, I think, is it the best organized piece of fiction? No, but I don't think organizing it any other way would do it justice the way that it did.
Mhm.
I know like so many people when it first came out, obviously, like, and I feel like okay talking about spoilers on this one because the show's out. Also because like before I even started playing it, everything was spoiled to me.
That's
like,
unfortunate.
yeah, I already knew Joel died, and and all the memes surrounding it, and then you have to play as Abby, Joel's killer, and
Right.
I knew all of this going in, and so I was not looking forward to that.
That's what I don't understand though, because that's one of the major criticisms of this game.
Mhm.
People don't like that Joel dies. Like
People
rightfully,
die.
right? People die, but
Right.
rightfully, that's not fun.
No, yeah,
But also playing as his killer. Here's the thing: that doesn't disqualify it from being a good game or
I
good
know.
writing.
I know.
People just like don't like it
I
because that's
know.
not what they want.
I know, dude. Okay, like preaching to the choir here.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I went back through and I played The Last of Us 2 linearly. I played Ellie day one, then Abby day one, Ellie day one, then
You
Abby
can
day
do
one.
that.
Well, yeah. So like if you go into the menu and you like select chapters.
Oh, do you have to beat the game to go back and do that, or can you do it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you beat the game. Oh,
Yeah. And then you can go back and play like the individual days kind of thing.
interesting.
And that was super fun. But I'm telling you, the story beats did not hit nearly as hard
Mm.
as they did when you play it the way that Neil Druckmann and his team wrote it.
That's so interesting.
But we still got to talk about Abby really quick.
Yeah, Abby.
Love Abby.
Same.
I love Abby. When I first started playing her, right, I was just like, I do not want to play as Joel's killer. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like Abby for this, that, and the other reason. Whatever the reasons were. But man, as you continue to go down this path, you get to see Abby change in such a beautiful way because you're just continuing this story of found family, of redemption as well, right? And you get to kind of get this idea of who Joel probably was before he met Ellie. And you get to see that as Abby meets Lev and Yara.
How have I never drawn that parallel?
I don't know.
Dude, that's crazy. Abby is Joel.
Right.
That's crazy. I've actually never considered that. I mean, I focus so much on the cycle of violence. The
Right.
argument,
Cycle
like,
of revenge.
who's more
yeah.
justified, Abby or Ellie? That's where most of the discussion is.
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
But that's a beautiful comparison.
Yeah.
Between Abby and Joel.
Extremely thematic.
Wow.
Yeah. And
You're so smart.
Thanks. Yeah, that's my number 2. I won't say anything else on that. Yeah, it's a beautiful game though.
All right, let's see. My number 2 is The Last of Us Part 2.
Okay. Okay, I kind of expected that one to be your number 1 actually.
Really? No. That's so funny. So I guess we don't even really need to talk more about that.
Yeah, that's good.
So yeah, number 2, Last of Us Part 2. Can I do my number 1 then?
Sure.
Okay. My number 1 is Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
That almost made my list. Dude.
Really?
Such a good game.
Okay, this game is underrated, hardcore underrated. It is a short game, probably 5 or 6 hours.
I'd say like 8 if you're going for more completionist.
That's true. It's a heavily story-focused game about a girl who is...
She has psychosis.
Well, she has psychosis, and that's kind of the theme of the game, is that it's about mental health. But
That's
in the time that it takes place, people didn't understand these things about like schizophrenia or psychosis or like mental health in general. And so they basically just said she's cursed.
Yeah, cursed, or depending on the culture though too, it could be like she's a seer.
True. But she was basically ostracized from her society.
Right, yeah. Well, she's a Celt, right?
But the whole story is she's trying to rescue her dead husband from
hell.
From hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the whole story.
From the Norse hell.
From Norse hell.
Yeah, so cold, freezing cold.
You play it with headphones for sure. And
yeah.
There's the voices whispering in your ear because you're hearing her psychosis, her schizophrenia, and you see weird visions, and it's kind of a horror game almost.
It is.
Like it's very
that game
scary.
Terrified me when I first played it. Yeah.
But seeing her being able to grapple with her psychosis and mental health,
while also just being a badass.
And she's a badass.
Yeah.
Right. You know, she fights these different ancient Norse gods to try and rescue her husband's soul from hell. Oh, Jesus. I feel like I'm not doing it justice. Like it's a good game.
It's such a good game and super underrated.
Yeah, it's a beautiful game. It's unsettling, but it's also beautiful. And they collaborated with different psychology and mental health organizations across the world to accurately depict these different disorders. And they have participated in different charities. A lot of their success, the money that they gained from this game, they donated to different organizations to help promote and help mental health patients. And I mean, it's just a great game.
Yeah, it is.
Great
also,
cause, great game.
Some of my favorite sword gameplay.
It's simple too.
It's simple, but so smooth, and they messed it up in the sequel.
Did they? Okay, I haven't played the sequel yet.
Story's fine.
Okay.
But they messed up the gameplay.
Dang, that's too bad.
Yep. In my opinion, I didn't like it.
That's fair. I'll have to go try it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just not, it's not as smooth. It's not as flowy. Okay, my number 1, Halo 2, baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not surprised you've talked about it so much. So.
Halo 2 is such a good game. Full disclosure, there's a lot of nostalgia going into this.
That's fair.
Halo was the very first video game I ever owned, and right alongside it, Halo 2. I didn't get a gaming console in our home until I was 12, and by then, the Xbox 360 had already come out, and Halo 3 was already out. And so when we got our first Xbox and Halo 2, I had only ever played the multiplayer. And so I went in and I started playing the campaigns. I don't know how many times I've played Halo 2 over the years, probably over 50 times.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is crazy. And
there's not a single game I've played that many times.
A big part of that is right. A big part of that though is it's such a good story, and even as a kid who doesn't understand all the crazy nuances of Master Chief's inhuman humanity, and then in Halo 2 he plays the Arbiter. And his like struggle with the Covenant and figuring out like what all that means for him and everything like that. Like that's something that I didn't understand until I was an adult, obviously, but just such a fun and captivating game, and while also keeping some of the silliness from the first game with like the grunt dialogue and things like that. But yeah, story-wise though, like I think it's the best Halo game story-wise. It's also the longest game story-wise. Just like the memory of like playing it for the first time, because the ending leaves on this huge cliffhanger.
Okay.
And you're like, what do you mean? Yeah, just such a fun game, and still super fun to play all these years later and to analyze it and to just enjoy it that way. Yeah, Halo 2, number one.
Dang. I think if there was a Mount Rushmore of video game characters,
Yeah.
Master Chief would be
Oh,
up there.
yeah, totally.
Cool.
Cool, man.
All right. Well, there were a couple games that I considered that didn't quite make the list. Uncharted 2, phenomenal game. Assassin's Creed Origins and Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Nice.
I considered both those. Those are my favorite Assassin's Creed games. BioShock. Have you played BioShock?
I haven't.
Ooh, that's a good one. That
I've heard phenomenal things
that
about
has a
it,
good
but I've
twist at the end too.
Never seen it. Yeah.
Man, would you
Or never
kindly?
played it.
And then these other games I didn't put on the list simply because I haven't finished them. Red Dead Redemption 2, Ghost of Tsushima, and Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Those all had a phenomenal writing and story as well.
Cool.
So,
Yeah, right on.
do you have any that didn't make the list?
Yeah, I deliberated on this a lot. Assassin's Creed 2 has always been one of my
I'm surprised
favorite
that didn't make
games.
the list.
Yeah, I know, dude.
Especially when you're talking about how you had a lot of second game sequels
Mhm.
on the list. I was like, oh, he's going to bring up Assassin's Creed 2.
I was, yeah. So the reason, I can tell you exactly the reason why I have such a bitter taste for Ubisoft right now.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Love the art, hate the artist, man.
Yeah, except for when the art sucks.
AC2?
No, not AC2. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. No, yeah, AC2, super fun, super great game, but yeah, it just didn't make the list. Also, mostly because like I haven't played it as much as the other games. Like I played that game a lot, but it's not one that I feel like I want to go back to
Right.
all the time.
Because it is
anymore.
good, but it still is dated.
Yeah,
It's
it's
dated.
dated, but
Yeah.
super fun. Beautiful music though too. Jesper Kidd is an amazing composer. The other one that I had on here was Dishonored. That one almost made my top 5.
If you like Dishonored, you'll like BioShock.
Okay. All right. Say no more. Skyrim,
Oh, yes, of course.
Portal 2. Love the Portal games. The one that I really wanted to put on there, but I didn't, was Ghost of Yotei. I just finished it a few
Right.
weeks ago and I loved it so much. I liked it more than Ghost of Tsushima, but Ghost of Yotei was just so good. I'm going to play it again.
It'll
But
make the list.
It'll
next
make the
time.
list next time, but like just because I haven't played it twice, I didn't feel like it was fair.
That's fair.
So
What are you playing right now?
right now I'm playing Skyrim with the new Dagoth Ur mod.
Nice.
It's just like terrible and super funny at the same time. So I'm on my yearly Skyrim binge right
Nice.
now. Yeah.
That's
What
cool.
about you?
I'm playing the remaster of the first 3 Tomb Raider games.
Oh yeah.
So
Nice.
looks like both of us are on a little nostalgia kick right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
Nice. Cool.
Cool.
Well, that's it.
right on.
If you made it to the end, congrats.
Yeah, that was a long
Is
one.
anyone here? Is it an empty theater right now?